At least 2 craft brewers here in Texas are ramping up to sell their suds right on premises. They are the Hops and Grain in East Austin and the Jester King in Dripping Springs. It's all thanks to a law on the verge of passing that's on the governor's desk. And as Robert Maxwell tells us tonight, we're seeing for those brewers, the whole business model has changed.
The sign outside the Hops and Grain Brewery in East Austin says it all. An application to sell alcohol on premises, against the law for Texas craft brewers until this spring.
For right now, just being a brew pub makes the most sense for us.
For workers like Bob Galligan, who are running the canning line when we stop by, the new law will be a game changer.
It's only going to open up people who have never had craft beer to us, so.
Hops and Grain is one of a growing number of small breweries where this year production will be less than 3,000 barrels. They're growing, but are still small fry compared to the national operations.
Beer in Texas, in my opinion, is changing.
Before the legislation, places like this were destined to stay small, only able to offer free samples and glassware they sell.
Yeah, all of our distribution will stay the same.
The brewery owner, who started in the craft brew trade in Colorado, says Texas is now allowing a more sustainable business model to emerge.
For us, it's going to give us a lot more opportunity to expand and grow, from our cash flow instead of having to go after investment capital or bank loans.
And here in this storage area right next door, Josh is talking expansion, making this the tasting room where people can sample the beer and for the first time take a 6-pack to go.
It'll be the same vibe that we have in here every week when we've been pouring free samples.
Back in the canning area, Bob predicts it's about to get a whole lot more crowded in here.
We're going to have to hire a staff just to work in the tap room by itself, on top of everyone who's going to work in here eventually as we continue growing.
All right, how much will they be growing? Well, they say with the addition of that new tasting room, Josh Hare expects another 1,000 barrels of beer headed out the door this coming year. That would top up his production another 25%. And another part of the new law caps Brew Pub's distribution at 10,000 barrels, so at about 3,000 to 4,000. Hare has a long way to go, he says, before hitting that sudsy ceiling. In the studio, Robert Maxwell, KXAN News.